Uh, Good afternoon to everyone. Kindly wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Let everybody join, then we will start. Okay. Yes. Let me share my screen. So, out of the entire D2D class section, some of the students know me, or some of them are not. He attended the any lecture. I think some of has joined recently, but some of the students have already joined since kind of the long time. The Anand, the Michelle, like, lots of students are there. Okay, wish you. So is my screen is visible to everyone? Somebody please reply. Okay, Umesh. Thank you. So as for the instruction and as the lots of students are have joined recently. So first I will give my introduction that I am Vishal Soratia from Information and Communication Technology Department. I'm working over here since last 7 years, since 2013, and I'm taking this DCN subject third times in the IT and computer department. And we have already kind of gone through each and every topic in regular session, but for the D2D students, we need to do this again, but little bit on tweak on manner, not that much of the fast we can say. And I hope that you are a diploma to degree student, so already you have one step ahead, like in terms of understanding the stuff and familiar with the kind of the topic of engineering and whatever the stuff that I'm going to talk with you might be or might not be. It's come across to your knowledge, but whenever you find the difficulty or whenever you find that I'm not kind of the done with that topic, so you can just interrupt me and you can ask me the question whenever it is required. Okay. Okay. So before going to start with the syllabus and all stuff, what are the things that we can do? And those who have joined the those who have joined recently, okay, and those who don't know about the Canvas account and the portal, and those who have not registered in Canvas. So what I request that all of you just those who have not the Canvas access and those who have joined the new and don't know about that, what are the stuff we have and what are the things we need to do and all the things. So first, let me just go with that particular stuff. Let me just explain what are the stuff we can do and what are the primary requirement for the submission and kind of the subject related different tasks are there and all this stuff. So meanwhile, I request all of you that you please write your Marwadi University ID. Like you are having one Marwadi University ID, like with your name dot surname and then GR number at the rate marwaduniversity.ac.in. Such type of the mail ID all of you have. So please write down those mail ID in the chat box, so I can add it to you in as a new student in the Canvas portal. Once you will give me that mail, I will send one request on that mail ID, and you will get one kind of the notification, or you will get one mail on the same mail ID about accepting the Canvas subject request. So you just need to kind of the accept those requests, and then you will automatically enroll in that Canvas portal. So those who are new, kindly please write it down your enrollment number over here. And after that completion of this lecture, at the evening, you will get the invitation, okay, in the Canvas, and you can access whatever the stuff that I'm talking over here. That all the stuff that you can access. Okay, so once you will just start using the Canvas and all particular portals. So this Canvas, those who are new and those who don't know about the Canvas, that Canvas is one type of the kind of the information exchange portal where the different assignments and different stuff that you can access it easily. Okay, so in Canvas there are still several sections are there: home, announcement, assignment, discussion, and all stuff. What are the major stuff that you need to keep in mind? Okay, simple word I will tell you, that whenever you will go to the grade sheet, okay, and like this grade sheet is available to each and every student, okay, like how much grade you will get for the different assignment and all stuff. So simply what you need to do, like what are the tasks that I need to do, okay, if you want to find it out, then simply you need to go to your grade sheet, and whatever the topic which is mentioned over here, okay, that all topic you need to submit. Okay, that's the primary requirement over here. Okay, now that time is already passed, so some of the students have questions on how we can do that. Okay, so if I can talk about the experiment, if I can talk about the experiment, so what we can do, that regarding that experiment, whenever you click on that any particular experiment or any particular topic, you will get the different information, like whether there is some of the file is available or not, or some of the file is not available. So according to that, video lecture is also available on the portal and so. But if I'll give you the simple example, that if I'm having experiment number 4, okay, so what is inside the experiment number 4? So there is one module is there, or there is one doc file is over there. Okay, so according to that doc file, you need to see that there are list of the tasks and list of the steps are there, experiment steps are there, that you need to write the answer on that one. Now we will get the question, how I know that, what should I need to write in this question and all stuff. So for each and every video lectures, okay, for each and every experiment, what we can do, like you can go to the YouTube, and in YouTube already that lectures are already recorded, okay, that we have conducted previously. So you just need to go to that YouTube channel, okay, and that YouTube channel is named as let me just list it over here. Just a second. So you simply need to go to YouTube and then B2CE. uh, just a second. Studio. Yeah, so there's a BTEC2E live. Okay, so let me just paste it in the right now in this particular chat box. So this stuff you need to just search in the YouTube channel, or in simple, in by opening the YouTube, you just need to paste this one. Once you will paste this, there are one particular link are there, and there are different channels and videos and all stuff there. So you just need to go to the data communication and networking, this subject. And now if you want to access, like if you want to access the experiment which is related to the FSK, okay, so you just need to write FSK over here, or you can search it out, the FSK, from this entire kind of the lab list. And let me just yes, this is a DCN lab session on FSK. So if you just play that, so whatever the stuff that we have discussed in that FSK, which is all going to be recorded over here, and you can find out the entire stuff, that what are the steps we need to do, what are the basic theory and all stuff. Okay, so that are the stuff that you can identify from the YouTube, those who are the experiment one. Okay, other stuff that we need to keep in mind, like there are a different section are there. Okay, lab manuals are there, rubric on demand are there, and assignments are there, and then important assignment, whatever the stuff which is mentioned over here. Simply when you go to the Canvas portal, that each and every article or each and every section you can identify, and you can get it kind of the access to that. Like right now there is a deadline is already passed. Okay, so you need not to worry for the diploma, that all the assignment I will upload it, I will open it again, and you can submit it okay, in that particular deadline, whatever the given kind of the final exam or that final submission date is there. According to that, we can do that. So that's not an issue regarding the deadline and all stuff, especially for D2D students. Okay, up to this point, anybody having any doubt, any question? If you have not understood anything over here, whatever the question you are asked, that is going to be very important, because at the end it should not be like that I have not understood anything, what I need to do and what are the stuff we have. Simply you need to go to your grades, whatever the task is mentioned over there, we supposed to submit each and everything. Okay, now what are the helping stuff we have, like those who have already kind of attending the lecture previously, especially from your D2D class, like Anand Raichura is there, as well as let me just find it out some of the persons so you can create the group. Faisal is there, Fenil Rabadia is there, Hardik Chavda is there, Isa Sapavodia has joined, but late, but before 3 to 4 weeks. So lots of students we have already, those who are already aware with the system. So you can ask them also. Whenever there is a doubt, or if you not understood anything, you can ask me also. Okay, so don't hesitate to talk to me, and don't worry about any question or any stuff. Any doubt, any stuff, you can ask me anytime. Okay, but please not after 10 o'clock at evening. Okay, please. Yes. So yes, there is any question. Better you can open your mic and ask the question. Oh, okay. Jeet is writing their mail ID. Okay. Now, most important stuff, like what you need to do, So I will directly go with that home section, and I will do the task like, yes. So there are the section. These are the some of the reading material, PPTs and reading materials are there. You need to think from this particular section. Like there are internal assessments are there, CAC are there, term work are there, Viva are there, end semester exam is there. So this two end semester exam that I'm going to conduct to you. Like one by one, we will discuss that what are the stuff over here and what you need to do in that particular section. Okay. Suppose let me go with the teaching scheme. So these are the stuff we have. Like let's take there are 150 mark of the total kind of the marking system is there in a DCN. Out of that, how this 150 mark is going to be distributed. But listen carefully. So 50 marks for the end semester exam, 30 marks for the internal assessment, 20 mark for the CSE, 25 marks for the Viva, and 25 marks for the term work. Okay. And whatever the criteria, 35% criteria in each and every section, which is applicable to everywhere. Like 50, so out of the 50, minimum you need to score 80. In 30, minimum you need to score 12. Okay, whatever that 35% criteria is, that which is applicable in everywhere. Now, what we need to do? So first we will start with the IA. In IA, there are stuff are there like logical worksheet and Coursera certificate. So right now, if there is a Coursera certificate is open for everyone, then it's okay. Otherwise, you need to do the logical worksheets. Okay. Now, where you can find out the worksheets. So just let me just open this one, and along with that, I will give you the task. Yes. So there are the worksheet. Worksheet 1, 3, 5. So this 3 worksheet you need to do to get the mark in the internal assessment. If there is a Coursera certificate, there is a you need to join in the Coursera course. So let me first find out that whether it is available right now or not. And according to that, I will instruct you in your mail ID, or I will give the comment about the D2D student in this announcement section. Okay. or I will give you the personal mail also. So you can keep checking those personal mail and all stuff regarding the Coursera certification. Okay, so these are the first stuff. So for the internal assessment, you need to do that type of stuff. Second, we have, which is CAC. So CAC, which is a weekly Canvas quiz, while there is a different quiz section are there. There are quizzes from the one particular predefined website are there. So where you can find out this quiz. Okay. So simply, if you can go to the continuous semester evaluation, there are some of the stuff which is mentioned over here, which is a quiz, chapter 1, chapter 2, and this one. As well as where you need to go to the assignment section. So right now it's a home. You need to go to the assignment section, and you need to go with this one, like chapter 1 to chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all this chapter containing the quiz from the one particular website. So that website name is this one. Okay. So you can go to that website. Likewise, whenever the chapter is going to be progress, or whenever you are quickly going to learn about the different topics, like the quiz, you can start. You need to start accessing those quiz. So these are the quiz we have. You need to just enter the answer, and then you need to just press the submit answer. And once you will submit the answer, at the time automatically you need to write your name, your section ID, and you need to write down my mail ID and your mail ID. So this stuff you need to write it over there. And after writing this all the detail, one mail will come to your mail ID. Okay, आपके मेल आईडी में वो एक पूरा ये इसका स्कोर और ये सब चीजें आएगी. ओके, और उसका जो स्नैपशॉट है, whatever the mail which is received to you, उसका स्नैपशॉट है. चाहे अभी ये चैप्टर 2 की क्विज है यहाँ पे, ठीक है, तो चैप्टर 2 की क्विज का जो भी मेल आपके मेल में आता है, उसमें कुछ आंसर लिखा होगा, उसमें स्कोर होगा, whatever it is, that snapshot of that mail you need to submit over here. That's it. Is that okay? You need to do this stuff for all the 9 chapters. Okay, and it will not take hardly a 1 day. It will take to attempt all the quiz, so it's not going to be that much of a big deal. So these are the stuff you need to do under the IA. Okay, so this is a under the CSE. Okay, there are one quiz. Yes, please. बोलिए.
Sir, your voice is lagging.
Hello. Just a second. Let me just. Yes. Connected with the internet. And now, am I audible? Am I audible now? Yes. Am I audible now? Now it is okay, or still it's lagging?
Now it's okay, sir.
Okay, now it's okay. Okay. Yeah, so under the CSE, there are the quiz are there, and you can get the kind of the good score over there, and multiple attempts also you can do. Okay, once you will go with the attempts, you can get the right and wrong answer also, and according to that you can modify your quiz also, and then after you can upload the modified score, okay, to get the maximum mark. So that stuff also you can do under the CSE, where you need to do the majority the quiz portion. Now, most important term, which is a term work. Okay. So in term work, what we are giving the rubric on demand task. Anybody having questions? Somebody has opening their mic and hello. Yes, Sanjay. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, done. So in rubric on demand, what we have term work, which will contain a 25 marks out of the 120. So where you can get the stuff about the term work. So simply you need to go to home, and you will find out one section which is term work rubric on demand 1/5. Now यहाँ पे आपको पांचों के पांचों टास्क नहीं करने हैं, आपको कोई भी एक टास्क करना है. अगर आपको ऑनलाइन क्विज करने हैं तो आप क्या कह सकते हो? इन ऑनलाइन क्विज, okay, there are a guideline are there. Like if you want to attempt this online quiz section, so there are the guideline are there, and that guideline is related to like whatever your enrollment number are there. According to that enrollment number, there are some link are there. Like if your last digit of enrollment number is 147, so you need to go to that quiz and you need to attempt those quiz up to the 90% mark you are getting. आपको जब तक 90% से ज्यादा मार्क नहीं आते तब तक आपको वो ये लिंक में जाके सब क्विज आपको अटेम्प्ट करनी है, और जितनी भी क्विज आप अटेम्प्ट करते हो वो सब के स्नैपशॉट आपको इकट्ठा करके you need to combine all the snapshot of that mark and you need to submit it over here, that RAR file, all the answers or whatever the score you have got. The proof of that you need to submit in the online quiz section. अगर आप online quiz choose करते हो. Likewise in each and every, if you are having a C++ coding, if you want to go, or if you want to go with the stuff like active learning video making, okay, so हर एक चीज में उसके अंदर पूरा गाइडलाइन और सब कुछ दिया हुआ है. लेकिन आपको क्या करना है, आउट ऑफ द 5 टास्क ओनली 1 टास्क यू नीड टू डू. आपको कोई भी एक टास्क ही करना है. अब एक्टिव लर्निंग वीडियो मेकिंग है तो आप कोई भी एक टॉपिक ले लो, डीसीएन में से कोई भी टॉपिक ले लो. लाइक मैं कहता हूं कि टाइप्स ऑफ केबल्स. सो टाइप्स ऑफ केबल में गाइडलाइन के हिसाब से आपको एक एक्टिव लर्निंग वीडियो मेकिंग बनाना है. और एक्टिव लर्निंग वीडियो मेकिंग में क्या क्या होना चाहिए, किस तरह से चीज होनी चाहिए, वो भी मैं अभी आपको थोड़ी देर में बताता हूं. बट देयर आर अ सैंपल वीडियो लिंक आल्सो गिवन ओवर हियर. जिस हिसाब से लाइक यहाँ पे जो भी लिंक दी हुई है ऐसा वीडियो आपको बनाना है, क्रिएटिविटी उसमें इन्वॉल्व करके. सो दिस इज अ सच टाइप ऑफ द एक्टिव लर्निंग वीडियो मेकिंग और सिस्को पैकेट ट्रेसर. देयर आर डिफरेंट टास्क इज देयर. For the D2D students, what my suggestion is there, okay, especially I think that you can choose any of the topic, okay, it's not an any issue. But if you are having a short time and if you don't want to go with kind of the detailed stuff, I prefer you go with either active learning video making or online quiz. But it is still not compulsory, you can choose the other 3 also depending upon your choice. But आप online quiz कर लो, active learning video making कर लो, which is going to be complete relatively faster as compared to other one. Okay, आप सिस्को पैकेट ट्रेसर करते हो तो उसमें आपको सिस्को पैकेट ट्रेसर में एक पूरा सर्किट बनाना है, उसके 6 टास्क है, एक सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स करना है. इफ यू कैन डू दैट देन सिस्को पैकेट ट्रेसर इज गोइंग टू बी evaluated on that. You can take the help of your kind of the classmates also. You can ask them what I need to do, what are the tasks are there, और हर चीज में क्या क्या करना है. ध्यान से सुनिएगा. In the term work, what are the stuff you need to do regarding the, we have uploaded one presentation. Now in presentation where you can get those presentation in announcement section. Over here you can see this is a DCN choice for rubric on demand. Over there there are all the instruction and all the stuff we have, as well as there are a PPT also is there, guideline and PPT, all this stuff. So you can see this PPT and आपको डिटेल में सीखना है कि भाई इसमें क्या क्या होगा, सर ने क्या बताया था डिटेल में. तो आप क्या कर सकते हो, सिंपली जो भी ये डीसीएन का हमारा यूट्यूब का चैनल है वहां पे जाके आप रूब्रिक ऑन डिमांड सेक्शन वहां पे सर्च कीजिए. लाइक लेट मी गो विद दैट स्टफ. आई विल गिव यू द आइडिया अबाउट दैट व्हाट यू कैन डू. लाइक यू कैन सर्च ओवर हियर. Let me just search it over here from this one, rubric, sorry, don't work, videos, just a second. Yes, sorry, you need to go to the playlist. From the playlist you can find out over here that there are some rubric on demand section are there, and according to the rubric on demand section all the stuff which is already given over there. Okay, let me just show you over here. Yes, there is a batch C term work explanation. So such video is already there, like TW explanation, and you can see the entire video and entire stuff, like किसमें क्या करना है, क्या टास्क है, ये पूरा वीडियो में मैंने यहाँ पे एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है, कैसे वीडियो होने चाहिए, व्हाट वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग एंड ऑल स्टफ. ओके, तो आप ये वीडियो भी देख सकते हो. ठीक है. सो दिस आर द स्टफ. यू कैन गो टू द चैनल एंड फाइंड आउट द प्रीवियस रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर एंड यू कैन रिवाइज ओवर देयर और यू कैन अटेम्प्ट दोस लेक्चर आल्सो. ओके, according to that rubric on demand which is over in term work, now it's a viva. Now viva, there is a 2 part we have. Like in viva it's going to be evaluated based upon the 2 exercise. First, which is your laboratory experiment, like there is a experiment 1 to all the 9 experiment we have. Based upon the experiment, which is going to be considered as a half of the mark, like there are kind of the 15 mark which is evaluated based upon the viva. तो आप viva में क्या परफॉर्म करते हो उस हिसाब से 15 मार्क्स मिलेंगे, और बाकी के 10 मार्क्स है वो आपको कहां से मिलेंगे, ये सब असाइनमेंट, 10 एक्सपेरिमेंट 10 मार्क्स. Okay, so you can attempt those experiment, write down the answer on that and upload it over there. अभी किसी का डेडलाइन सबका चला गया तो आप क्या करिएगा, जितना भी चीज हो सके वो अपने पास रिकॉर्ड करके रखिएगा, अपने पास पूरा फाइल रखिएगा. Once I will open all the kind of the experiment kind of the dates, you can simultaneously upload all this stuff. So please maintain the record at your end. Once the Canvas portal I will open for all the D2D student, you need to start uploading those stuff, okay, before the term end, okay, before that entire semester is going to be end. Okay, so we have the time in Diwali also, after that also we have the some of the week of the time, so we need to work hard on that one. Final, which is a end semester exam. Okay, in end semester exam there are two tests is there, or average of both of the test is going to be considered. Now ये दो टेस्ट में क्या होगा, तो आप देखिए यहाँ पे, let me just go with the home, and you can say over here there are a unit test 1 is there. So ये unit test 1, like आपने अभी mid semester exam किसी ने दिया होगा नहीं दिया होगा, but it's a online portal are there or online quiz are there, which is containing a two type of the question, MCQ question and short question. So 30 MCQ हो गए, 10 short question हो गए, जिसका आप 1 लाइन में आंसर लिख सकते हो, 2 लाइन में आंसर लिख सकते हो, लेकिन आपको 50 मिनट मिलेंगे एक टेस्ट को अटेम्प्ट करने के लिए, और ऐसे आपको 2 अटेम्प्ट मिलेंगे. ओके, व्हाट आई विल टेल, लाइक आप एक एग्जाम जो सेम एग्जाम है वो आप 2 अटेम्प्ट में अपीयर हो सकते हो, उसके लिए आपको ओवरऑल 3 घंटे का टाइम मिलेगा. सो 3 घंटे में एक टेस्ट आप 2 बार अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो, और दोनों में से जिसका मैक्सिमम मार्क आएगा वो आउट ऑफ 50 हम कंसीडर करेंगे. इसका कब एग्जाम होगा वो सब डेट में थोड़े लेक्चर खत्म होने के बाद, लाइक आफ्टर द 3 to 4 लेक्चर आई विल गिव वन डेट. इन दैट डेट यू नीड टू स्टार्ट रनिंग ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर exam. Is it okay with everyone? Okay. Now second unit test. Second unit test, which is going to be a little bit kind of the take home test. कि take home test में आप क्या what how you can get, how you need to do the second unit test. So जैसे मैंने बोला, अगर आप ग्रेड में जाते हो, let me give you a demo. So in the next week, okay, in the next week, what you can see, when you will go to your grade, go to your grade, in that grade there are already a unit test 2, yeah, such type of the unit test 2 take home papers type of the stuff is mentioning over there. Over there are one chat box is there, and over the chat box if you click on that chat box, so you can find out your paper. तो ये जो भी यहाँ पे PDF फाइल है वो आपका यूनिट टेस्ट 2 का पेपर है, उसको आपको एक आप फाइल पेजेस में लिखिए, नोट में लिखिए, कहीं पे भी लिखिए, लेकिन जितने भी आंसर क्वेश्चन उसमें लिखे हुए हैं वो सब के आंसर आपको वो पेजेस में लिख के यहाँ पे सबमिट कर देना है. ओके, और फॉर दैट देयर इज अ टाइम अप टू द फाइनल एग्जाम. आप फाइनल एग्जाम तक ये टेस्ट पूरा कर सकते हो. सो देयर आर इनफ टाइम वी हैव. Already lots of D2D students are already doing that. You can kind of ask them how we can do that, what are the pattern. It's not an issue, but it's a take home test. आप घर पे जाओ, किसी से पूछो, इंटरनेट में से फाइंड आउट करो, कुछ भी करो, उसके आंसर आपको वहां पे लिख के या उसका PDF, एक कॉमन PDF आपको क्रिएट करके यहाँ पे सबमिट करना है. Is that okay with everyone with unit test 2 and unit test 1? आपको नेक्स्ट वीक में अभी नहीं दिखाएगा, पहले मैं आपको कैनवास में ऐड करता हूं, आप वो कैनवास का एक्सेप्ट कीजिए, उसके बाद आप ये पूरा ग्रेड सेक्शन में यहाँ पे जाके आप यूनिट टेस्ट 2 का पेपर देख सकते हो. इज दैट ओके विथ एवरीवन और नॉट? एनी डाउट इन एंटायर टीचिंग स्कीम और किस में क्या करना है? सिंपली इफ आई विल कंक्लूड, सो 10 क्वीज है, ओके, दैट यू कैन फाइंड डायरेक्टली फाइंड आउट फ्रॉम टाटा मैग्रो हिल. 10 क्वीज है, 2 यूनिट टेस्ट के पेपर है, 10 एक्सपेरिमेंट है, साथ में एक रूब्रिक ऑन डिमांड है, और 3 या 4 वर्कशीट है. दैट्स इट, द स्टफ दैट यू नीड टू डू इन एंटायर DCN सब्जेक्ट. इफ आई विल कंक्लूड इट ओवरऑल, so that much of the stuff you need to do up to the semester going to be end. But we need to do it quickly. Whenever there is a difficulty is there or you not understand, please ask to your kind of the D2D students, your friends, or you can ask to me that I don't know about this one, how I need to do, or you can take the help of the experiment that is already kind of the done by your kind of the classmate. You can take a reference of that also. Okay, so you can better get the idea like what are the stuff we need to do and what are the things we can manage. But overall stuff that I have explained over here. Anybody having any doubt? Please quickly open your mic and tell me. Yes. So Udayraj, see, can we use a word to write? Udayraj, see, for a unit test 2, it is compulsory to write in a file pages. You cannot use a kind of the use that word and kind of the such type of the documents are there. Mr. Kriplani, that hardware project, like that, if you are interested in hardware projects, so there are some wireless device based hardware project. Like, let me give you the example of like automatic home automatic fan control by using a Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is one of the wireless technology. So you need to purchase, you need to kind of the we will give you one circuit, we will give you one link. So by looking to that link, you need to bring all the hardware component, you need to connect those component, and you need to create a such type of the hardware, and you need to create one explanatory video that how this entire hardware is work and what are the features are there, what are the benefits are there, how you have created. Likewise, the two stuff you need to do for that particular link. Okay, you need to create first hardware and then you need to create an explanatory video for that. Is that okay, Kriplani? Okay. Any doubt to
So,
anybody? Yes, Boliye, please, Smriti.
uh, so can you explain where we have to submit our assignments and all?
I am not getting the last sentence. What you need to submit? What about submission? This
So,
all stuff?
yes, sir, all the stuff.
Okay.
Like,
So let me, Smriti, have you written your email ID or not?
sir, already have an account in Canvas.
But have you? I think you are not having that DCN access over there, or you have already accessed it or not?
No, sir. Actually, yesterday we had an DCM lecture, so sir explained us about the thing, but then due to some technical issue, we were not able to
Okay.
understand anything.
Let me check first. Like let me check first whether you have enrolled over there or not, so I can get the idea. Can you write your email ID in the chat box again? That Marwari email, Marwari University ID.
Yes, sir. I'm writing.
Okay. Smriti Chudasama. Let me. Yeah, Smriti is already there. I think you have access to that DCN stuff. So right now, Smriti, you can you are already registered over there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that portal, like which is named as a subject DCN 01IT0301, overall, like you can go to the announcement section, assignment section, or home section where the most of the stuff you can find out, and you need to submit over there also. Like just give the example, like let's say there is a worksheet 1. So whatever the worksheet you can find out over here, whatever the answer of that, there are a submit button is there. Okay, over the same portal. आपको वहां पे उसका आंसर वहां पे सबमिट कर देना है. That's it. अभी नहीं होगा क्योंकि डेडलाइन नहीं है. Might be. If it is a deadline based subject, a deadline based task, so you cannot submit right now. तो आप क्या कर सकते हो? Kindly hold it with you. Okay, I will open all the assignment for all the D2D students, so you can simultaneously submit all this stuff, and I will open that deadline up to the semester end. That's not an issue over here. But you just start working on or creating, like getting the answer about all this stuff. Yes,
And
Smriti.
so, question. So, we have to write down worksheet, or we can use Word application for
No,
that.
no, no. No. You need to write it down. You need to write it down like in a directly word. Like if there is a Word document and you can copy and paste, it is also okay. But especially in unit test 2, like in unit test 2, compulsory you need to write the answer in page. Okay, no need to write in a Word or in anywhere else. Not in a digital form, but in a hard copy form.
I'm asking about the thing that worksheets.
Okay. Worksheet, you can choose any stuff. Like either you can write on page also, or you can write it on Word file also. Not an issue.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Done. Anybody having any other question, please? Any question to anyone? Is it okay with this entire stuff and all the details? And yes, please, બોલીએ.
સર આ બધું તો હજી બતાવવાનું નથી ને અત્યારે.
અત્યારે ધ્રુવીન શું કહો છો?
અરે બતાવવાનું નથી ને એમ ટૂંકમાં.
કેનવાસ માં જ અપલોડ કરી દેવાનું, હું ત્યાંથી જોઈ લઈશ બધું. બરોબર, મને પર્સનલી કે ફિઝિકલ કશું બતાવવાનું નથી, બધું કેનવાસ માં અપલોડ કરતું જવાનું અને હું અહીંથી માર્ક આપતો જઈશ. ધેટ્સ ઇટ.
હજી તો આપશો ને તમે?
અરે ઓલરેડી હું તમને એક મેલ આઈડી, ધ્રુવીન તમે તમારું મેલ આઈડી લાઈક આમાં ટાઈપ કર્યું?
મારું તો હે જ કેનવાસ માં, તમે કીધું હતું પેલા.
ઓકે, હા છે. તો હવે હું બધાની ડેડલાઈન ઓપન કરવાનું ચાલુ કરી દઈશ. તો આપણે આ સેમેસ્ટર એન્ડ જ્યાં થાય એ સુધીમાં પૂરું કરવાનું છે. લેક્ચર પણ ચાલુ થાય છે અને બધું સાથે સાથે, તો જેમ જેમ લેક્ચર થતા જાય તમે વિડીયો જોતા જાવ એ પ્રમાણે બધું એટેમ્પ કરવાનું ચાલુ કરી દેજો, એવું કહેવાનું થાય છે મારું ધ્રુવીન. ઇઝ ઇટ ઓકે?
હા.
બટ એવું ના રહેતા કે છેલ્લા દિવસે એમ કહો કે સાહેબ મારે કાંઈ સબમિટ નથી થયું, એવું ના થાય. તો સ્ટાર્ટ કરી દેજો જે લોકો નવા જોઈન છે. સો સ્ટાર્ટ ફ્રોમ ટુડે ઓલ્સો. ઓકે, વોટ એવર ધ સ્ટફ ધેટ વી આર ગોઈંગ ટુ ડિસ્કસ, હમણાં જે કંઈ પણ ડિસ્કસ કરી એના રિલેટેડ તો ટાસ્ક કમ્પ્લીટ કરવાના ચાલુ કરો. પછી બીજા વિડીયો લેક્ચર પણ જોઈ લ્યો જે ઓલરેડી રેકોર્ડેડ થયા છે. મેં તમને યુટ્યુબ ની લિંક માટે કીધું, એમાંથી રેકોર્ડેડ લેક્ચર જોઈને ખતમ તો કરતા જાઓ. એમાં એવું પ્રેક્ટિસ ચાલુ કરવી પડશે, કારણ કે 6 કલાક હું તમને એક ને એક વસ્તુ તો તમે પણ કંટાળી જાઓ. બેટર યુ સ્ટાર્ટ એક્સપ્લોરિંગ ધી કાઇન્ડ ઓફ ધી અપકમિંગ સ્ટફ, તો ફટાફટ પૂરું થશે. ઇઝ ધેટ ઓકે ધ્રુવી? Everybody. And I request all the D2D students, those who have joined previously, જે ઘણા બધા ટાઈમથી જોઈન છે, I request all of them, please help the other students to resolve their query and issue. So you D2D students, I request please create one group, okay, personal group about the especially for D2D and for the DCN, so you can ask the question and all the stuff over there if it is possible. Yes, Vasu, you are asking some question.
સર આપણે ડીસીએન સબ્જેક્ટ એક જ માટે કેનવાસ છે કે બધા સબ્જેક્ટ માટે છે?
બધાનું નથી મને ખ્યાલ, બટ ડીસીએન માં સ્પેશિયલી છે. એ જે સબ્જેક્ટ નું હશે એ ફેકલ્ટી તમને કહેશે અને આ રીતની પ્રોસેસ સમજાવશે, લિંક આવશે બધું. પણ ડીસીએન માટે છે, બીજા સબ્જેક્ટ નું મને ખ્યાલ નથી, બટ વી આર ડુઇંગ ધીસ સ્ટફ ઇન કેનવાસ.
ઓકે સર.
અને એ ફેકલ્ટી વાઇઝ ઇન્ડિવિજ્યુઅલ હોય. તો મારું ડીસીએન છે, હું લઉં છું તો હું તમને બધું સમજાવીશ. એ ફેકલ્ટી ડીસીએન કેનવાસ માં લે છે કે નહીં એ લોકોનો પરવ્યુ છે. લાઇકવાઇઝ વી આર હેન્ડલિંગ લાઈક સબ્જેક્ટ વાઇઝ ઇટ ઇઝ ગોઈંગ ટુ બી હેન્ડલ્ડ. ઓકે વાસુ? Any other query, doubt first? We will solve your doubt first, then we will go with the stuff. Anybody? No? Okay. So at evening you can get the mail from Canvas kind of the website, and please accept this, and if any issue in that one, so you can ask me or you can call me. Okay, now let me start with the particular chapter first. Okay, so in the first chapter, is that screen is visible to everyone? Hello, please open up your mic and tell me, is that visible?
Yes sir.
Okay, yes. So what are the basic chapters we have in entire DCN subject? Okay, so if I'll give you the brief about that, what is a DCN subject and why this particular topic which we have choose, okay, which is going to be delivered in the third semester. This subject is a kind of the fundamental subject for the computer networks. Like whenever you are going with the higher semester, so you have one computer network subject. Okay, so that computer network subject, you are mostly discussing about the stuff like kind of the security, network layer protocol, transport layer protocol, session layer protocol. There are communication protocols are there. Okay, but in that particular communication network, by and large, that computer is always going to be connected with some wired or wireless medium. Like if I'll give the example that if you have a good computer or if you have a good mobile, but if your mobile cannot connect with the others, whether it is some use of that electronics or not, there is no use, I can say. Like you can say you are having a mobile phone, but that mobile phone only that you can use for playing the games and all stuff. So it's not called the mobile phone, it's called as a video game device. Okay, so whenever I can talk about that, there are some smart devices are there are some communication devices are there. It will always require some connection with the other kind of the electronic devices. Okay, like I can say your mobile is connected to Bluetooth with the others, it is connected with the Wi-Fi, it is connected with your mobile tower, it is connected with the Zigbee. You can control your fan or you can control your home appliances using your mobile control. So there are some wireless connectivity are there through which this entire stuff and such program is running, and some decision is going to be take place, call is going to be forwarded, internet going to be accessed. That lots of this stuff is only and only going to be possible if you have some physical layer communication. Okay, like physical layer communication, that entire kind of the topic of discussion over here in DCN subject. Like physical layer connection, it means when you are connecting two computers, two device, computer to computer, computer to mobile, computer to printer, whenever you are connecting two communication devices, how those device going to be connect. Okay, what are the basic fundamentals of that. Okay, which type of the wire I required, which type of the bandwidth I required, which type of the signal I required, how my message is getting converted over converted in terms of that data, all stuff which is going to become under this physical layer communication, which is considered as a physical layer communication in entire computer network. Okay, there are a 7-layer structure is there. Out of that 7-layer, 2 layer is going to be discussed in this particular subject. First, it's a physical layer. Second is going to be data link layer. So data link layer not completely, but little bit amount of that data link control and their basic fundamental we are going to be covered. But majority stuff that I'm discussing over here, or that entire subject is covering regarding the physical layer communication. Like if I can say I want to connect my mobile with the other mobile, what are the possible ways, how it's going to be connected, what are the communication media possible, wired, wireless. If it is a wired, what are the technologies inside that? If it is a wireless, what are the inside technologies are there? That all stuff we need to discuss over here. So it will start with the basic stuff like signal characteristic. Like what are the signals which actually carry your information? So what is the fundamental of the signals? So it starts with the basic of signals and kind of the characteristic of the signal, that parameter and all stuff. Then after it will start with the data communication, like how it's going to be possible, what are the layered architecture we have, okay, through which this entire communication is take place. Then after it will start with the basic fundamental technique are like signal encoding technique. Like you are sending a different data, you are sending a data through cable also, like you are accessing like the television through the kind of the coaxial cable also. Just a second. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Yes. So in a signal encoding technique, what we have, like whatever the data that you are generating, okay, whatever the data that is generating from your computer, how it is get modulated, or what are the different techniques are there through which the data is going to be actually travel in your channel. Okay, so that encoding technique, modulation technique, demodulation technique, all this stuff we are going to discuss in that signal encoding technique. Then after, bandwidth utilization, like you have the computer, you have the ready-made data, you have modulated, you have encoded well, but there are a big question are there, how you can effectively use your bandwidth, whatever the available bandwidth you have, whatever the data rate is supported by your channel, how effectively utilize those capacity. Okay, for that there are a multiplexing and spreading technique are there. So how we will multiplex several channels simultaneously in one particular band. Okay, what are the techniques are there, how those multiplexing going to be take place. So this particular stuff going to be discussed in the 4th chapter. Then after 5th is going to be transmission media. Like what are the different transmission media is there? Wired, wireless, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, twisted pair cable, Zigbee, Bluetooth, and we can say NFC. Okay, mobile communication. Okay, WiMAX, several stuff we have. So that's all under the transmission media. Then after, it's a switching system and communication network. Okay, so if we can create if you are having a several computers are there, if you are having a simultaneously 100 computers are there, but how actually those network is going to be created, what are the different switching techniques are there? If I want to establish the connection from one PC to another PC, what are the switching technique I need to take place? How data is getting routed? Or the basic fundamental according to the physical layer communication we are going to discuss in the switching system. Then after, there is a wireless WAN, specifically dedicated chapter for the wireless media like mobile communication, satellite communication, and all stuff. Then the communication technology, which is like Bluetooth, Zigbee, okay, NRC, and kind of the dedicated, detailed discussion on that, that we are going to discuss in 8th. And in the 9th, that some of the fundamental regarding the data link control, like whatever the stuff that we are doing, whatever the communication we are doing, but what are the error control protocol are there, how we will ensure that your data is reached perfectly. If there is a noise are there, or if there is some data violation are there, or if some data is corrupted, how you can retrieve those data back, that all stuff like related to that stuff, and algorithm we are going to discuss in data link control. According to the each and every topic, like if you can go with the syllabus of this all this 9th, so topic wise all the video lectures are already available. If you want to go just in advance, you can see those video in advance in manner, not an issue. So all this stuff is already available on that YouTube link. Okay, whenever you are free or whenever you want to know more and more, you can go with that lecture also. Okay, any doubt to anyone in this particular kind of the discussion? Hello. Okay, so whenever you have doubt, you can just interrupt me and ask me the question. Okay. Is my voice is audible clearly, or any issues is that issues are there? No. Okay. Yes. So this is the stuff we have. Like if we can go with the signals, if we can go with the signals, so we are having basically there are a different type of the signals are there. Okay, like you can think like signals also having the different type. Yes, there are the signals like analog signals, digital signals, periodic, aperiodic signal, like we can say kind of the random signal, noise signal. There are a different type of the signals we have. So what are the topics that we are going to discuss in the first chapter, which is analog or digital? There are two type of the signals: periodic analog signal, okay, digital signals, transmission impairments. Like what are the stuff are there? What are the stuff are there which will make your entire communication interrupted? Okay, like which will not make your communication effectively. What are the different impairments are there, or what are the parameters are there which will affect in your communication signal? Okay, which will not make your communication properly. Okay, so what are the stuff are there that is under the transmission impairments? And data rate limit and performance, like what is a data rate are there, and what are the speed are there, what is a bandwidth are there, what is a performance parameter, that all stuff we are going to discuss in this topic. So we can start with the basic stuff like data versus information versus signal. So if I can say like what is a data? So data is a raw unorganized facts that need to be processed. Like data can be something simple and seemingly random and useless until it organized. So data, we can say there are some particular we can say some unorganized facts are there which need to be processed. So once we will process those kind of the unorganized facts, then we will get a particular information. So I can say when data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in some specific context, so it is make useful or which is make a meaningful information, that we can say kind of the information we have. So whatever the data we have, if we can organize, if we can just kind of structure those data, get some meaning out of that, then it is come as an information. So what is the signal we have? Signal is nothing but which is containing some electrical, or we can say electromagnetic kind of the variation. Okay, like we can say that's an electric variation with respect to time, that we can say simple as a signal. So signal over here we need to discuss about the two type of the signal. Data can be analog signal or digital. Like analog signal response, refers as an information that is continuous, while digital refers as a discrete one. Okay. Now analog data take on continuous value, digital data take on discrete value. So here it's an example of the both of the one, analog, digital. So what you can say analog, you can say with respect to the time, there are a continuous change in value is there. You can find out the different value at different instant of time. अब यहाँ पे आप कोई एक पैरामीटर लीजिए, यहाँ पे कोई एक पॉइंट लीजिए. Every time if you can find out the value, so at every time there are a different values. Okay, that is a analog signal. So we can say continuous time, continuous variation in value. This is a analog signal. While in the digital signal, which is a discrete value, so you can say up to this particular period there are a fixed value. After that particular period, there are fixed value. After some particular period, there are fixed value. So we can say there are discrete values are there, which is not going to be changed continuously with respect to time. So for some time duration, you can say that there are fixed values are there or discrete values are there. Okay, this is a analog and digital difference we have. Now, if you are having analog signals, so there are different parameters are there. Parameters like what are their frequency, what are their values, or we can say what are their amplitude and what are their phase. Okay, so if we can say like a signal, if we can say there is a analog and digital signal we have, so analog signal also having a two category, periodic analog signal and aperiodic analog signal. So periodic signal, we can say the pattern of this signal is going to be repeated after some time. So you can say whatever the pattern which is repeated in this first cycle, the same pattern is going to be repeated afterward. Okay, throughout the time, kind of the time passes. So that is considered as a periodic signal. So if you are having a periodic signal, you can find out that to complete the one cycle, it will take some time, which is a T. So T is nothing but time taken to complete a one cycle, and that cycle is going to be repetitive. Why? Because it's a periodic signal. So how you can get the frequency? Frequency is a simple inverse of that time period. So how much time it will take to complete one cycle? If you just take a 1 upon that time, you can get the frequency. So from this ratio, you can say like that if time is going to be larger, your frequency going to be smaller, and time is going to be shorter, your frequency going to be larger. It means time to complete a one cycle is going to be smaller. It means that frequency going to be high, and time to complete a one cycle is higher than frequency going to be lower. You can see over here, like 1 second, frequency going to be hertz. 10 raised to minus 3 second, millisecond, frequency going to be kilohertz. Microsecond, frequency increased to kilohertz to megahertz. Likewise, nanosecond to gigahertz, picosecond to terahertz. So we can say time decrease, frequency increase. Simple relationship we have. Another parameter which is amplitude. Either we can say signal with the high peak amplitude, while that amplitude is going to be higher, while the signal is going to be low amplitude. Like amplitude, it means what is the strength is there. Okay, how much kind of the we can say energies are there in terms of, like we can say. So we can say there is a peak amplitude is there where that that particular amplitude, like I can say 2-volt signal, 5-volt signal, 10-volt signal. So I can say 10-volt is a higher amplitude signal, 5-volt is a little bit lower, then 2-volt is again little bit lower. So you can say there are amplitude which will make your entire signal in variation compress or expand in the amplitude spectrum. Okay. Now we can say period and frequency. So as I have told you, like we can say what is a period and frequency? So over here 12 periods in 1 second. We can say in 1 second there are 12 cycle is going to be complete. So what is the period of one particular cycle? Simply 1/12. तो मतलब क्या हुआ, यहाँ पे 1 सेकंड में 12 साइकिल कंप्लीट होती है, तो एक साइकिल कंप्लीट होने के लिए कितना पीरियड चाहिए? सिंपल 1/12. Similarly, that 6 periods are there in one particular cycle. So what is the period of one particular cycle? It's 1/6. So there is a basically we can say a relationship over here, like we can say Depending upon that, what is the period and what is the second time of that one, you can get the frequency also there. Like you can say one cycle is going to be complete in 1 by 12 second. According to that, you can find out there are a 12 hertz. Similarly, that one cycle is complete in 1 by 6 second, you can get it's a frequency going to be 6 hertz. Okay. Next, there is a third parameter which is a phase. Okay. Phase, it means how much advance or delay your signal is going to be started. Okay. Can anybody tell me what is difference between sine and cos? Mathematics question. Anybody tell me what is the difference between sine and cos, sine signal and cos signal? I think there's a basic. Yes, please.
સર ઇલેક્ટ્રિકલ રીતે જોવા જાય તો અપર સાઇડ જે છે પોઝિટિવ
Okay.
એને સાઇન કહેવાય અને નેગેટિવ સાઇડ જે છે રિવર્સ ફ્રીક્વન્સી એને કોસ કહેવાય.
Okay. Any other difference? Any other difference is positive, negative. Okay. Any other stuff? In terms of theta, like if I want to get cos out of the sine, મને sin જોઈએ છે પણ મારી પાસે cos છે, તો હું શું કરીશ? તો મને ડાયરેક્ટ sin ની વેલ્યુ મળશે cos માંથી. Like what is the angle difference between sine and cos? From the Pythagoras rule, you can say like what is difference between cos and sine? You can say cos equal to nothing but sine 90 minus theta, and cos is nothing but sine 90 minus theta. So I can say both are 90 degree in phase of the 90 degree with each other. So we can say if you are having a sine, so if you just go with the 90 degree, okay, in any of the side, you can get the cos signal. Okay, as it is said like that, if your all STC type of the circle is there, like if you can plot the if you just plot with the one particular circle, like if I'll give you the example over here, let me draw it over here. Like if you are having such type of the region are there, so you can say there is a 0 degree, then there is a 90 degree. So you can say if this is a sine is there, so we can say it obviously is a cos. Why? Because there are a 90 degree phase difference between both of them, and that 90 degree difference will give you the cos and sine. So if you have cos, and if you just go this side, you can get the sine, and if you have the sine, by adding the 90 degree, you can go with the cos. So we can say whatever the signal we have which is started with the 0 degree is considered as a sine signal. Okay, just for example, normally we are saying sine signal, we can say 0 degree. Now if we can just do with the kind of the 90 degree, okay, 90 degree or 180 degree or in the opposite side, so some of the cosine portion you are getting, and that all you know during your mathematics exercise, like sine to cos, cos to sine transfer and all stuff. But what I'm going to talk about over here, because it's a term which is come as a phase. Okay, there is a phase is there. So we can say phase is nothing but it's describe the position of the waveform relative to time 0. Like if it will start with the 0 degree, so it start with this beginning. If it is start with the 90 degree, then it will start with the half of the cycle. If it is start with the 180 degree, then it will start with the negative cycle of that one. So you can say with respect to the 0 time, how much your signal either going to be advanced by 90 degree or advanced by 180 degree. This is a phase component you have. So these are the stuff which is under the phase component. Okay. Now we are having the stuff which is related to periodic and aperiodic signal. Now what do I mean by periodic signal? Like wavelength is another characteristic of the signal that travel through the transmission medium. Like wavelength, which is binds the period of frequency to the propagation speed also. Like wavelength depend upon the vacuum, air or water, which is that wave which is travel through. Can anybody tell me what is the relationship between wavelength and frequency? If you have just go with the physics, basic fundamental subjects, what is relationship between wavelength and frequency?
If wavelength is high, time
No, I'm
વધારે
talking
લાગશે
about
અને
frequency.
એની
Okay.
ફ્રીક્વન્સી એ આખી એની ડ્યુટી સાયકલ ગણી લેવાની કે
Okay.
વેવલેન્થ જો મોટી હોય વધારે હોય વધારે ટાઈમ
Okay.
સુધી ચાલતી હોય તો ફ્રીક્વન્સી ઓછી થાય.
Yes, so we can say it's
equal to
inversely proportional.
Yes.
You are saying it's both are inversely proportional, but what is the equation for that? If I say f, So what are the equation of with respect to the lambda? I can say that f is a frequency, so lambda is going to be inversely proportional, so I can say the lambda is going to be down. But what is upside of this one? Upside is nothing but it's a c, which is a speed of light. So f is nothing but c by lambda, which is a ratio of speed of light in a free space via speed of light or that particular wavelength in that particular medium. So frequency and wavelength both are inversely proportional, but actual equation is going to be f equal to c by lambda. Okay, so if you are having a lambda which is a very lower, so frequency going to be higher, and if frequency going to be lower, your wavelength is going to be higher. So similar type of the stuff, like whatever the period you have, if period is going to be shorter, so according to that another quantity going to be higher, and if over there it's going to be lower, this side is going to be higher. So likewise there is an inversely proportional we have. So we can say, like whenever we can say the periodic signal, so periodic signal, it means after some particular time your signal is going to be repeated again, and that particular time duration, you can say this is a wavelength of the signal. Okay, another term you can say it's related to the time also, but over here the medium they have introduced, like whatever the wave which is traveling in a free space, once it will enter to one particular medium, so whether the same type of the wavelength or same type of the wave or periodicity is maintained or not, if it is changed, so that accordingly that wavelength is also going to be changed. Why? Because that time duration is going to be depend upon that in which medium this entire wave is going to be traveling. So we can say, like in free air, their wavelength is not going to be changed, but if you enter to water or into the vacuum, their wavelength is going to be changed. Okay, so that wavelength, which is a part which related to the part of the medium which is associated. So periodic signal, we can say after the particular time period, if the signal going to be repeated again same way, so we can say there is a periodic signal. Okay, so let's say there are a periodic signal which is having a peak amplitude of 5 volt and the frequency of the 6 hertz. So 6 hertz, it means there are 6 cycles are going to be completed in 1 second. Okay, so peak amplitude 5 volt, this is a frequency 6 hertz. This is a time domain representation. Okay, remember it very carefully. It's a time domain representation. It means in x-axis, in this x-axis, there are a time is there. Okay, while in the y-axis, there are a amplitude is going to be there. So this is a time versus amplitude. It means there are a time domain representation. Similarly, what is a frequency domain representation? Like in x-axis, there are a frequency, x-axis, there are a frequency, and another axis, there is an amplitude. So how this entire signal going to be represented in frequency? Simple, by the one line at the 6 hertz. You can see there is only single line which will represent that in the frequency domain at the 6 hertz of the frequency. In the 6 hertz of the frequency, your peak amplitude is going to be 5 volt. So this is a difference like that. In time domain, signal is going to be expanded. You can say there are several cycle representation is there, but in frequency domain, there are a single line is there. So one thing you need to keep in mind over here, if you expand your signal in time domain, so that signal going to be compressed in frequency domain. If you expand your signal in frequency domain, your signal compressed in a time domain. Okay, so that stuff, that sentence you need to keep in mind. Expand in time domain, squeeze in frequency domain. Expand in frequency domain, squeeze in time domain. Okay, so we will go with the another stuff, like if I'm having a multiple sine wave are there, okay, with a different phase. So how the time domain look like? Time domain will look like the amplitude addition of the both of the frequency. Okay, there is a two frequency over here, one with the green, one with this kind of the magenta color. So both are going to be look like this one in the time domain. But if you just look at the frequency domain, how it will look? It will look the two simple spikes are there. So this is a basic difference between amplitude versus time, while amplitude versus frequency. So you can see there are expansion are there. There are lots. Entire spectrum is filled up with the signals, while over here only two spikes are there, which is represent the entire signal in a frequency domain. So if we are having a multiple frequencies, like we are having a frequency of, let's say there is a pink color are there, green color are there, and we are having kind of the stuff which is related to the blue color are there. So we can say blue color, there is no cycle variation is there. So we can say there are a DC signal. So DC signal having a frequency or not? What is the frequency of DC signal?
zero.
Zero, obviously. So we can say whenever there is a zero, it is represented as a DC signal. So there are a blue line is mentioned over here. While there is a 8 hertz frequency, which is having 8 cycle in 1 second with the 8 hertz, while there is a 16 hertz, there are a 16 cycles of the green one, which is at the 16 hertz frequency. But you can observe there are amplitude is different. Over here amplitude different, over here amplitude different, over. So it's related to that amplitude which is associated with each and every voltage level in the time domain. So you can say these are the amplitude and frequency versus time domain representation of different signals. Now we are having a stuff which is a composite signal. Okay, जो भी हमने यहाँ पे देखा, like there is an individual frequency representation is there, but how combinedly this signal will look like? So for that I can say combinedly signal will look like just by adding the amplitude of all of them. Like आप यहाँ पे ये देखते जाओ कि टाइम डोमेन में जीरो पे जितने भी सिग्नल है उसका एम्पलीट्यूड क्या है, just addition of that and create a new signal. Then you can go with the another stuff. Like आप यहाँ पे आते हो, यहाँ पे सब सिग्नल का एम्पलीट्यूड क्या है, like this is a 5, this is something 10, this is 15. So just add all of them and just create another signal. Likewise, if you just add all the amplitude with respect to time, by and general you can find out some of the composite signal which contain a multiple frequency component. Okay, so according to the Fourier analysis of simple sine waves with the different frequencies, amplitude and phase. Okay, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे देखा, like there are a different frequencies there as well as there is a different amplitude. यहाँ पे signal 0 से start हो रहा है, यहाँ पे something 90 degree. So combinedly it will look like this one. So this is a composite signal. Likewise, composite signal, which is a combination of frequency, amplitude and phases. If the composite signal is periodic, the decomposition of gives the series of signal with the discrete frequency. And if composite signal is non-periodic, decomposition gives the combination of sine wave continuous frequency. Okay. Now this term we need to understand. Just think about this 4 line. Take a 3 to 4 minute of break. I need to drink a water also. So I will back in just a 4 minutes. Just think about this particular 4 line, and then we'll start discussing on that. Meanwhile, also you take a kind of the rest of 3 to 4 minutes and just look to the kind of the wider object so that your eye is not going to be stretched up. We will again going to be meet in just 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, take a break of 3 to 4 minutes, please. Yes, so I'm back. Yes, so uh, we are on this sentence like if the composite signal is periodic, the decomposition gives the signal discrete frequency, and composite signal is non-periodic, it will give the combination of sine wave continuous frequency. What is the meaning of that? This is the meaning of this one. Like let's consider there are a composite signal which is a periodic. You can say whatever the signal associated in entire signal or in that in kind of the entire kind of the information, if all the signals like the periodic, you can say frequency f 3f 9f, but you can say all the signal are the periodic in manner. So if composite signal made up of the such type of the periodic signal, so your their frequency response is going to be discrete one, discrete frequency one. But if the composite signal which is made up from the non-periodic signal, like you cannot predict the frequency in such type of the random signal, so their frequency response is going to be continuous, it's not going to be decrease. So you can say periodic composite signal give you the discrete frequency response, and non-periodic composite signal give you the continuous frequency response. That are the two stuff we have according to the bandwidth. So if you want to find out the bandwidth, now what is a bandwidth? Can anybody tell me quickly? What do you understand by the bandwidth? What is a bandwidth? Simple term. It's already listed in this particular kind of the PPT. Bandwidth is a composite signal if the difference between highest and lowest frequency containing in the signal. So in that signal उसका हाईएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है, लोएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है, अगर आप दोनों के बीच का जो फ्रीक्वेंसी मेजर करते हो, that is the entire band of the frequency considered as a bandwidth. Simple one. So if we can say bandwidth of the periodic signal will be look like this one, well bandwidth of the non-periodic signal will be look like this one. Okay, so there is just an example over here. Now if we can go with the digital signal, so that all stuff we have discussed about the analog signal, periodicity, bandwidth, time, frequency, phase, all stuff. Now what are the characteristics of the digital signal? So what do you mean by digital signal? Somebody please recall, what do you mean by digital signal?
Pulse, non-pulse.
I'm not getting pulse, no pulse, or simple we can say it will be like discrete time, discrete value. Okay, so a particular time period में कोई एक ही value होगी वो signal की. So that we can say digital signal. So in digital signal, for example, 1 can be encoded as a positive voltage, 0 can be encoded with a negative voltage. So likewise, if you are just entire beat sequence, which is 1 0 1 1 0 0 1, if we can just put according to this logic, so that is a digital signal format we have. So this digital signal with the 2 voltage level 0 and 1. Okay. Second example, which is a digital signal with the 4 voltage level. Now 4 voltage level, it means that is a discrete signal, but having a 4 different amplitude variation are there. Okay. So level 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can say some of the signal represent with the level 4, then level 3, level 2, level 1. So if you are having a 4 level, so instead of representing the 1 1 beat, you can represent the 2 2 beat. Okay, so if you are having a 4 level, over here beat is going to be 2. Can anybody tell me if I want to represent the 3 beats simultaneously, how many voltage level I required?
8.
Simply 8. Why? Because it's a simply relationship of 2 raised to 3. So then 2 raised to power number of voltage level that you require to represent the bunch of the bits. Yes. So these are the kind of the example we have, like first, like a digital signal has a 9 levels. How many beats are we needed? We calculate the number of beats by using the formula, like each signal level is represented with the 3.17 beats. How this answer is not realistic. Okay. So we can say with the realistic answer, we will always getting through the power of 2. So we can say we are taking a 4 beats. So 2 raised to 4, which is a 16. We are having a 9 levels. So at least we required a 4 beat to represent the number 9. That's why we required the 4 beats to represent the entire voltage level. X example, like assume the downloaded text document at the rate of 100 pages per minute. What is the bit rate required for this channel? So we can say like 24 lines in one page, average 80 characters in one line. If we assume that one character required the 8 bits, so overall data rate will be calculated simply 24 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 8 and such 100 pages per second. So we can say it's relatively 1.636 Mbps speed we required to send such type of the 100 pages per minute. Okay, so these are the overall calculation of the data rate that we required to send this such type of the information. So इसका क्या मीनिंग हुआ कि अगर आपको 100 पेज एक मिनट में भेजने हैं तो आपको 1.636 Mbps का डेटा रेट चाहिए, ऐसा फास्ट इंटरनेट चाहिए जो 100 पेजेस पर मिनट भेज सकता है. If you can say like such type of the pages is going to be sent by 1 Gbps, तो आपके पास 1 Gbps स्पीड है तो आप thousands of pages you can send it simultaneously. Because of such type of the calculation you can derive that. Okay, so this is a simple stuff to calculate the bit rate. So what is the bit rate of high definition TV? Example is there like HD TV having a video signal of 1920 by 1080. ये सब चीजें आपने सुनी होगी like 1920 cross 1080 पिक्सल. अभी मोबाइल में भी ये हाई HD recording is there. So it is 1920 cross 1080. इसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ कि आपका horizontally 1920 पिक्सल है, vertically 1080 pixels are there, and in a television such type of the 30 frames per second going to be transmitted. अब सोचिए जो भी ये पिक्सल है, ये पिक्सल किसके लिए है? For the one particular frame, or to send the video such type of the 30 frames you need to send in 1 second. Okay, और जो एक पिक्सल है, okay, that X pixel is represented with the 24 beats, 8 beat for R, 8 beat for G, 8 beat for blue. You can say what is the speed we have. So 1920 pixel horizontally, 1080 pixel vertically, multiply by 30 frames. ये जो एक फ्रेम बना ऐसा 30 फ्रेम जाएगा, और पर पिक्सल में 24 beats are there. So if you just multiply all of them, we can get a 1.5 Gbps speed. So to transmit the HD TV information, you require a 1.5 Gbps speed, okay, to transmit the same information. Okay, so the TV station reduced this 1.5 Gbps speed to 20 to 40 Mbps. Imagine Gbps is 10 raised to 9, Mbps is going to be in 1000. It's going to be a 6, we can say. So 1000 times that entire information going to be compressed. It's going to be compressed 1000 times by using a different compression technique. MPEG are there, or wave are there, MKV are there. By using different compression technique, your television information, HDTV information is going to be reduced to 20 to 40 Mbps when it is traveled through the system. Okay, so these are the stuff going to be applied. There are some of the advanced topic, but we will discuss this stuff in a computer network in higher semester regarding the compression. So this is a stuff we have like periodic and aperiodic digital signal. So जैसा हमने previously हमने देखा था कि like if there is a signal is going to be periodic, the frequency response going to be discrete. But if signal is not going to be periodic, like there is only one pulse. After there is nothing going to be repeated, same stuff. So that signal is going to be continuous in frequency domain. So this is a representation of time domain periodic signal, frequency domain of the periodic digital signal. Any doubt till now to anybody? Hello? Okay. So why we need to worry about the signal and channel bandwidth? Okay, we are having a basic two stuff we have. Which type of the signal we are using and what is the bandwidth is there. Continuously we are talking about this is a band, this is the frequency response are there, this is a band is occupied, or this is a bandwidth are there. So why we need to worry about that? You can see like this example is like that overloaded information with the limited band is always create a kiosk. Okay, like you have a limited band, but you want to send kind of the infinite amount of the data rate with that, it's not going to be possible. Sometimes there are a buffering is going to be occur. Okay, मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को सुना है. I don't know that some of the mistake you have done or not. Like कोई बफरिंग हो रहा है, अगर आप YouTube में कुछ चैनल देख रहे हो बफरिंग हो रहा है तो आप क्या कहते हो, लाइक there is a sometimes people are saying there is a problem from the YouTube side. Okay, no, like YouTube वाले वो hundreds of Gbps speed से डेटा भेज रहे हैं, आपने सब्सक्रिप्शन 2 Mbps का ही किया है. So if you have just subscribed with the 2 Mbps speed of the data, how you can access the 40 Mbps HDTV information? Never going to be possible. So at least you need to access for 40 Mbps speed of the internet. Then you can access the HDTV information. Otherwise, that data going to be buffer and continuous information, you cannot get that. Okay, so always we need to think about that. What is the bandwidth? What is the data rate? Okay, what is the signal and what is the channel bandwidth we have because of this reason? So this is the stuff we have. Understand, this is a very fundamental question. After learning this DCN subject, this answer should be, okay, it's known to every engineer, okay, whatever the communication technology you have studied. But if you don't know about that, then that is kind of the wastage of time. Okay, stuff like that. If you are having a digital signal, okay, if you are having a digital signal, why you require a different modulation technique? Okay, modulation technique we are going to discuss in kind of the next lecture. Like we can say why directly whatever the signal generating from your computer, why this same signal we never going to pass through any channel. Okay, जो भी आपके कंप्यूटर से 0101 जो भी सिग्नल जनरेट हो रहा है डिजिटल सिग्नल, आप कभी भी वो डिजिटल सिग्नल डायरेक्टली नहीं भेजोगे, आप उसको मॉड्यूलेशन करोगे. you will add those signal into some analog form and then you will send. Why is it so? Okay, this is a question we have. Why always that modulation we required? Okay, why we need to superimpose our digital signal into the analog? Why? This is the answer over here. But we need to start with the stuff like, as we know, like we are having a digital signal. Let's take over here. This is a one pulse we have. So for that pulse, what do you think? How much band we require to transmit the signal? कोई ये टॉपिक देख के मेरे को बता सकता है कि अगर मेरे पास ऐसा सिर्फ ये पल्स है, which is represented as a B over here, how much band I required by looking to this diagram? ये आंसर मिल गया, सब चीज खत्म हो गई, आपने सीख लिया क्या मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ. आप मुझे इधर देख के बता सकते हो, अगर मेरे पास ऐसा डिजिटल सिग्नल है जिसमें ऐसी डिस्क्रीट वैल्यू है, आप एज्यूम कर सकते हो इसके लिए कितनी बैंडविड्थ चाहिए?
Infinite.
Sure, it's an infinite bandwidth you require. Why? Because you can see there are a continuous frequency variation in frequency domain. It's still not finished. There are another frequency harmonics are also there. So to transmit a simple digital signal, you require the infinite bandwidth in frequency domain. और आप और मैं दोनों जानते हैं, like there are an infinite band type of this stuff, never going to be possible. So that we can say whenever we are transmit the signal, which is a digital through the directly to any particular channel, then the channel always having kind of the limited bandwidth. Okay, wide band or narrow band, such type of the limited band is there, so you cannot transmit a digital signal directly. So that's why we can say there are a limited band we have, low pass channel, wide bandwidth, low pass channel, narrow bandwidth, but bandwidth going to be limited. In the limited bandwidth, what's going to be happen? Like आपके पास डिजिटल सिग्नल है जिसको इनफाइनाइट बैंडविड्थ चाहिए, आप उसको ट्रांसमिट कर रहे हो किस में से, जिसका बैंड लिमिटेड है F1 और F2 के बीच में. सो ऑब्वियसली दूसरी साइड जब आप रिसीव करोगे तो जितना इसका कैपेसिटी है बैंड, उतना ही सिग्नल आपको मिलेगा. But you require the infinite bandwidth to transmit the same type of the signal, but you are not getting the same signal over here due to the limited band available in the channel. So that's why digital signal not going to be preferred to transmit directly to the channel. Now over here that entire stuff is going to be started. Like आप digital signal directly नहीं भेज सकते हो, तो अभी क्या करना पड़ेगा? We need to find out some alternative way. That alternative way will tell us that whatever the digital signal we have, which will pass through this band limited channel, and this signal going to be received properly. Now this is a main kind of the topic over here, that how this infinite bandwidth signal transmit through the band limited signal. What are the possibilities are there? What are the solution for that? This is a main question over here. Up to this, anybody having any questions or not? Please tell me. Any question over here, please? I will just directly go through this one. These are the stuff which is related to that I have discussed over here. Like it required the infinite bandwidth to create a such type of the digital signal. This is just an example of that. You can see those PPT also, and you can find out this reason also in internet. But my main motive is there, how we can just resolve this issue. Anybody having any question? Anybody having question? No? Okay. So what I will tell you that direct digital signal cannot be transmitted. So what we can do, whatever the digital signal we have, that digital signal first it will pass through the one converter which is named as a digital to analog converter. Okay. Now when you convert your digital signal to analog converter, so analog converter having some specific bandwidth, okay, which is F1 and F2. Okay. So once you will convert your signal to digital to analog, it is limited to band limited signal. Like you don't require the infinite band, you require the limited frequency band to transmit the same information. So first we require to convert the signal from digital to analog, and once it is converted to the analog, which is required the limited bandwidth, then it will pass through the band pass channel, which is also the limited bandwidth, and again by converting from digital to analog, the same information is going to be retrieved back. Okay. So what we require to fulfill our criteria of bandwidth and to send the effective signal which will having a no loss. आपको लॉस भी नहीं होना चाहिए सिग्नल में, प्रॉपर मिलना भी चाहिए सिग्नल दूसरी साइड, और आपका बैंडविड्थ का प्रॉब्लम है वो भी सॉल्व होना चाहिए. तो आप क्या करोगे? यू अप्लाइड द टेक्निक व्हिच इज converting the digital signal into the analog. Okay. Another word we can say there are different digital to analog converter scheme are there, or we can say there are modulation schemes are there which will do this task. तो अभी हम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में जो भी अभी हम चीज डिस्कस करेंगे in physical layer communication, we will start with this stuff. What are the digital to analog converter technique we have? Okay, which will make our kind of the criteria of signal and bandwidth possible over here. Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Now we will start with that. Like if we are having a signal, चलिए आपने सिग्नल तो आपने डिजिटल टू एनालॉग कर दिया, आपने सिग्नल भी भेज दिया, लेकिन जब भी वो सिग्नल कोई चैनल पे आता है, like we can say whenever it is come to any environment, any channel environment, like when it is travel through wire, when it is travel through any free space, there are always some impairments is going to occur. Like signal is going to be disturbed by the various parameter, and that basically that according to that impairment causes, there are three basically defects are there. We can say one is attenuation, second is going to be distortion, and third is going to be noise. So transmission impairment is nothing but like signal travel through transmission media which never going to be perfect. टेम्परेचर इफेक्ट होती है, एनवायरमेंट इफेक्ट होती है, केबल इज गोइंग टू बी मिसअलाइंड, नॉट प्रॉपर्ली काइंड ऑफ द फैब्रिकेट, different stuff are there which causes a signal impairments, but there are three impairment causes are there due to the attenuation, due to the distortion and due to the noise. वो क्या करता है, जो भी सिग्नल आपने भेजा है वो आपको वापस ऐसा ही नहीं मिलेगा, उसको हम impairments कहते हैं. We can say loss in the signal. So what is the attenuation? Attenuation is nothing but loss of energy. Simple you can get. यहाँ पे आपने P1 एम्पलीट्यूड का सिग्नल भेजा था, यहाँ पे आते आते उसका एम्पलीट्यूड कम हो गया, which is a P2. So we can say P2 is going to be half of the P1, then we can say that amplitude is going to be decreased by minus 3 dB. अब ये 3 dB कहाँ से आया? Simple calculation 10 log 10 P2 by P1. इसको log करना है, क्या करना है कि आपका P2 पावर क्या था, जहाँ पे आप 0.2 पे अगर आप when you are just accessing your power at 0.2, what are the power at the 0.2 divided by what is the power you have sent it? Take a ratio, take a 10 log of that both ratio, you can get the answer. So over here there is a condition are there, P2 equal to half of the P1. जितना भी पावर हमने भेजा था यहाँ पे आधा पावर हो गया. So we can say if there is a P2 is equal to half of the P1, if you just put this all the value over there and if you solve it, you can get the minus 3 dB. So whenever you will heard about that, your power going to be 3 dB minus. So you directly get the click like that, the power reduced by 50%. Okay, that you can get it, the relationship between actual power and dB power. So over here we can say like sometimes it's happen that there are amplifiers there. So whenever there is amplifier, so power getting boosted. So if power is going to be boosted 10 times, and what are the relationship in terms of power? Like 10 log P2 by P1. So P2 is 10 times of P1. जो भी power P1 पे था वो 10 times हो गया. Okay, at the P2 point. So we can say that power is going to be 10 log 10. It's going to be 10 dB high. अगर आप ऐसा सुनो कि आपका power 10 dB है, plus 10 dB, तो आपको क्या पता चलेगा? Your power is increase. But if you are having a minus something dB, which is going to be power going to be decreased. So if whenever the power is going to be decreased, which is considered as a attenuation. So there is a decibel unit directly you can say, like over here you have a minus 3 dB power, over here between there is a 7 dB power, over here minus 3 dB power. So what you can say, यहाँ पे 50% power कम हो गया. According to that, that 7 dB power is rise, again minus 3 dB power is gain, is going to be decreased. Overall जो भी आपने यहाँ पे 0.1 पे पावर भेजा था, overall 1 dB power you can get at the 0.4. This is the overall decibel unit calculation we have if you are having a cascaded transmission medium amplifier and different stuff. And if you are considering the power in milliwatt, so at that time it's going to be dBm. तो आप power watt में नहीं कहते हो, आप क्या कहते हो? milliwatt में. Like its power is not going to be 1 watt. We can say it's 1 milliwatt. So according to dB is also going to be dBm. Okay. So these are the stuff we have that we can consider. The simple example you can get. But this is a stuff like what do you mean by attenuation? Attenuation is nothing but reduction of power. Simple. Distortion is nothing but alteration of original shape. Simple definition. जो भी shape का signal आप भेज रहे हो, अगर रिसेप्शन के टाइम पे, अगर रिसीविंग के टाइम पे सेम शेप का सिग्नल आपको नहीं मिल रहा है, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द एम्पलीट्यूड, टॉकिंग अबाउट द शेप, then it is come under the category of distortion impairments. Okay, so we can say there is a composite signal is there, there are 3 cycles are there. When you received it, the signal is going to be changed their shape. So obviously the individual component also going to be changed their shape. So if the both of the shape at the sender and receiver are not going to be same, then it called as a distortion. Noise, which is a definition like unwanted signal. So noise can be do anything. Noise will reduce your amplitude also. Noise will change their shape also. So noise is considered as unwanted signal added to the information. And there are a different type of the noise are there: thermal noise, induced noise, crosstalk, impulse noise, which ultimately change your shape also, change your amplitude also, which is unpredictable. So this is a noise. So if your power reduce, so that's the attenuation. If shape change, then there is a distortion. And if there is an unwanted signal, shape is also changed, amplitude is also changed, entire signal is going to be disturbed, that's considered as a noise. Okay, 3 impairment stuff we have. According to that, we are having a simple ratio is there, which is normally people are talking when we are talking about the, when they are talking about the communication and when they are talking about the power and their delivery information, which is a signal to noise ratio. So the power of the signal 10 milliwatt, and at the end of the power that noise is going to be 1 microwatt. What are the SNR value and SNR value in dB? So SNR is nothing but there is a stuff like that. What is a transmitted power you have? Okay, and what is the receiving power? You have, don't go with this particular kind of this stuff, that's going to be a little bit confusing, but I can say just uh, I can say don't consider this one, but it's a simple like, let's don't consider this one, it's a little bit confusing one. But SNR is nothing but it's a signal power divided by noise power. Okay, simple ratio of signal power क्या है, noise power क्या है. Ratio of that it's considered as a SNR, signal to noise ratio. And SNR in dB it means whatever the 10 log of that one you are considering, which is SNR in dB. तो जो भी यहाँ पे रेशियो है उसको आप 10 log में लेके जाओ तो जो भी आंसर आएगा वो dB में होगा. Now we can say if noiseless channel is there, आप ऐसा सोचो कि कोई नॉइस ही नहीं हो रहा है, एक भी डिस्टॉर्शन नहीं, कोई भी डिस्टर्ब कुछ भी नहीं है, जो भी आप भेज रहे हो परफेक्ट पावर आपको दूसरी साइड मिल रहा है. सो वी कैन से योर नॉइस इज गोइंग टू बी जीरो. नथिंग इज देयर, नथिंग नॉइस इज देयर, इट मींस नॉइस पावर इज जीरो. सो व्हाट इज द एसएनआर रेशियो? अगर किसी के डिनोमिनेटर में जीरो है, it's considered as a infinite value. So we can say if SNR is going to be infinite, it means this is an ideal channel and such type of the channel never going to be possible. But what we are trying, what we will keep trying, like if your signal is having a high power, यहाँ पे देखिए इसका amplitude high है, noise का amplitude relatively it's going to be relatively lower than the signal power. So you can say relatively safe of the signal you can achieve. जो भी आपके सिग्नल पावर है वो ऐसा ही आप सिग्नल यहाँ पे प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हो. आपको यहाँ पे कुछ एल्गोरिथम लगाने पड़ेंगे, बट यू कैन गेट दिस सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ द पीरियोडिक पैटर्न. बट दूसरा केस लीजिए, यहाँ पे सिग्नल पावर इतना है और नॉइज पावर उससे कहीं ज्यादा है, so that entire signal is going to be distorted and nothing you can predict. So what you will understand from this two diagram, आपको क्या होना चाहिए, आपको क्या करना चाहिए? SNR. Please answer my question.
Reduce noise.
Yes, always we need to reduce noise, or we need to keep rise the signal or keep rise the signal power. अगर आपका signal power आपके noise power से ज्यादा है तो आप signal का safe आप receive कर सकते हो, signal पूरा distort नहीं होगा. लेकिन अगर आपका signal है वो noise से कम power का है, so you can say entire signal is distorted. That's why, that is the main reason. मैं आपको practical example बताता हूँ. जब भी cloudy season होता है, जब भी बारिश होती है, क्लाउडी सीजन होता है, आप नोट कीजिएगा, आप अपना डीटीएच में कोई भी चैनल आप रिसीव नहीं कर पाओगे. क्यों? क्योंकि जो भी सैटेलाइट से पावर जो लॉन्च हो रहा है आपके डिश एंटेना में, वो पावर वो ड्यूरिंग दैट kind of the rainy season, there are so much noise is there which will overcome your actual signal and nothing you can receive. That's why it will give you the notice like that. Please, like let cloudy season, or we can say let environment need to be clean. But let the cloud is going to be vanished, then your transmission is going to be resumed. Because due to that cloudy season, noise is going to be that much of the high, you cannot receive your television broadcast. This is a reason why this SNR component is going to be affected over there. So that are the stuff we have related to the SNR. If we can go with the data rate limit, so data rate, or we can say Nyquist bit rate, which is going to be affected on the three factors. What is the bandwidth available? What is the level of the signal? And what is the quality of the channel? It means what is the level of the noise. Bandwidth क्या है? कौन से लेवल से आप सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट कर रहे हो? लेवल इट मींस 2 लेवल, 4 लेवल, 8 लेवल, जो आपने देखा ना 0 1 और 2 बीट का, 3 बीट का. सो कौन से लेवल का सिग्नल आप भेज रहे हो? 2 लेवल सिग्नल, 4 लेवल सिग्नल, 8 लेवल. As well as what is the bandwidth available, as well as what is the noise. According to that, entire kind of the data rate is limited. So out of that, we are having a Nyquist bit rate, which is simply equation like 2 multiply by bandwidth multiply by log to the level of the your signals. So consider there is a noiseless channel are there. Bandwidth is a 3000 hertz. आपके पास 3 किलोहर्ट्ज का bandwidth है और आप 2 level signal use कर रहे हो. It means 0101, which is your variation in that voltage level. So bit rate going to be simple 2 multiply by 3000 multiply by log to the base 2, which is going to be 1. So overall you are getting a 6000 beat per second as your kind of the data bit rate. If we can say there are a more level, like instead of two level system, you are having a 4-level system. Okay, so we can say each voltage level is represent the 2 bits. So we can say each level, if we can say 2 bits, so how that bit rate is going to be calculated? 2 multiplied by 3000 log to the 4. Why? There is a 4 voltage levels are there. So we can say log to the base 4 is equal to the 2. So that's why 2 multiplied by 3000 multiplied by 2, you will get a 12,000 beats per second. It means increasing the level of signal, okay, which will increase the beat rate, but the reliability also going to be reduced. कि जो बैंडविड्थ है उसमें आप मैक्सिमम लेवल को यूज करके आप सिग्नल भेज रहे हो, तो रिलायबिलिटी में इश्यू होता है, लेकिन बीट रेट आपका ज्यादा मिल सकता है. सो likewise there is a one criteria is there, like if you want to increase your speed, you need to increase your number of level represented by each and every kind of the data signal. Now there is a reverse case we have. If we have a 256 kbps speed, if we have 256 kbps transmitted over a noiseless channel, what if the bandwidth is 20 kilohertz? So what is the signal level? आपको कितने सिग्नल लेवल चाहिए ये पूरा सिस्टम को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए? तो आप क्या करोगे? आपके पास पता है कि आपका डेटा रेट लिमिट 265 kbps है. You have a 265 kbps which is in the under the noiseless channel. So what you need to do, like 265 kbps equal to 2 multiplied by 20,000, which is a bandwidth, equal to log 2L. And if you just divide this stuff, 265 divided by 2 divided by 20,000, you can get 6.625. If you take an anti-log, you can get 98.7 levels. But we know that level कैसे होने चाहिए? Always in the power of 2. But ये तो 2 raised to power में नहीं है, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? We can take a 64 level. तो आप सोचिए ये दोनों में से कौन सा बेटर रहेगा? आप 64 लेवल का सिस्टम करोगे या 128 लेवल का, which is in the 2 raised to power. It's a 2 raised to power 8, which is going to be 2 raised to power 2 raised to power 6 or 2 raised to power 7. आप यहाँ पे कौन सा प्रीफर करोगे अगर आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है, 64 लेवल या 128 लेवल? आपको 98.7 लेवल चाहिए, तो आप 64 पसंद करोगे या 128 लेवल?
128.
Why? Why is it so? Because it's 128 level, which is kind of the higher than this level, so information is going to be transmitted perfectly. Okay, so we can say if you are having a 128 level, so data rate is going to be 280 kbps, while if we have the we can say 64 level, so data rate is going to be 240 kbps. So we can say that 240 kbps is lower than 265 kbps, which is not going to be acceptable. That's why we are going with the 128 levels. So if you are having a 128 level, so 7 voltage, like kind of the 7 beat of the bunch you are creating in each and every level of the information. So that all stuff which is related to the noiseless channel. But whenever we are having a noiseless channel, which is ideal condition, we need to consider that the noisy channel. Okay, so for the noisy channel, that equation is going to be modified with like bandwidth multiplied by log to the base 1 plus SNR. Okay, so SNR you need to include along with your bandwidth, and you can get the channel capacity over here. So consider that extremely noisy channel. We can say there are extremely noises there, so we can say signal power is lower than the noise power. So you can say overall ratio, like that ratio of this signal to noise ratio becomes 0. अब यहाँ पे maximum है, signal power is going to be 0, or like a signal power, let's take 0.1, while noise power is going to be 1000, very high. So you can say overall ratio is going to be 0, tends to the 0. Under this condition, I can say that what is the channel bandwidth? 1 plus SNR, so SNR going to be 0. So log 1, 0, I can say that channel capacity also going to be 0. We can say this means the channel capacity, this channel is 0 regardless of the bandwidth. In other words, we cannot receive any data through this channel, क्योंकि noise ज़्यादा होने की वजह से इसका capacity 0 हो गया है. due to this particular equation. Next, we have the stuff like that. The Shannon capacity. That Shannon capacity, it will give us that what is the upper and what is the lower limit of our particular channel capacity. तो आप जो भी SNR का वैल्यू रखते हो उसमें, उस हिसाब से आपको पता चलता है कि भाई क्या हम मिनिमम और क्या हम मैक्सिमम चैनल कैपेसिटी इससे हम कैरी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? Which is related to the Nyquist criteria also, and that's related to that like we can say that's related to this capacity. You can directly identify with this Nyquist formula also. Okay. आगे हम देखते हैं example. Like what is a bandwidth? Simple, we can say bandwidth is nothing but the range of frequency we have already discussed. What is a throughput? Okay, we need to just finish this one as early as possible. So we are having 3 to 4 slides. We will go with it quickly. What is a throughput? Throughput is nothing but how fast the data we can send. Okay, how fast data we can send. It means like bandwidth is a potential measure of the link. Throughput is an actual measure of the link. Like we can say a network with the bandwidth of 10 Mbps can pass only an average of 12,000 frames per minute with the each frame which is carrying on an average 10,000 beats. So what is the throughput of the network? You can say there is a 12,000 multiplied by 10,000. So 12,000 frames per minute multiplied by each frame containing a 10,000 beats. If you will divide with the 60 second, what you can say? 2 Mbps. 2 Mbps speed we have. तो अब यहाँ पे ये कह सकते हो कि आपके नेटवर्क 10 Mbps का है, लेकिन आपका डेटा ही 2 Mbps का जनरेट हो रहा है, तो आप क्या कह सकते हो? Overall, there is a throughput of this system is just 2 Mbps. Okay, like आपका डेटा ही 2 Mbps जनरेट हो रहा है, तो वो 10 Mbps की चैनल में से 2 Mbps ही जाएगा. अगर मैं यहाँ पे ऐसा कहूँ कि like your data is generated at the 13 Mbps. Let's say there is a 13 Mbps data generated. Then what is the throughput of 10 Mbps bandwidth channel? आप ऐसा सोचो कि आपके पास एक पाइप है, वो पाइप के आप जो उसका साइज है उस साइज का अगर आप उसमें पानी का फ्लो जाता है तो वो उतना ही कैरी करेगा. अगर मेरे पास 13 Mbps का डेटा जनरेट हो रहा है लेकिन मेरे पास चैनल का कैपेसिटी 10 Mbps का है, तो थ्रूपुट क्या मिलेगा? 10 Mbps ओनली. लेकिन मेरे पास 10 Mbps का बैंडविड्थ है लेकिन डेटा मेरा 2 Mbps का जनरेट हो रहा है, तो एट दैट टाइम थ्रूपुट इज कंसीडर्ड एज अ 2 Mbps ओवर देयर. ओके, latency we have, which is a delay. How long it will take time to entire message completely arrive from destination at the destination from first bit it is sent, which is considered as a latency or delay. Means how much time it will take. It consists of propagation time, transmission time, queuing time, processing time. There are several time. Editing, it will going to be considered at the to calculating the delay. There is an example over here, like what is the propagation time? It's equal to how much distance it is traveled and what is the propagation speed. You can say there are a 12,000 kilometer distance going to be traveled with the propagation time speed of 2.4 into 10 raised to 8 minute per second. So overall it will take a 50 millisecond time to travel from one place to the 12,000 kilometer ahead. Okay, तो आपके पास जो frequency है वो कितना होना चाहिए? 2.4 into 10 raised to 8, which is equal to the light signal. अगर इतनी स्पीड में डेटा फास्ट ट्रैवल होगा तो 50 मिलीसेकंड में वो 12,000 किलोमीटर ट्रैवल कर जाएगा. Okay, this is the reason, or this is the stuff which is related to the delay you can calculate. Next, we are having a performance, okay, which is related to the transmission time. There's total time required for transmission of the message arrive from first to last bit, which is depend on the size of the message. Like what is the transmission time calculated, what is the message size, and what is the bandwidth. You can say like if you are having a queuing time which is taken by the intermediate device to process the bit, while bandwidth delay product will define that what is the overall number you can travel or you can fill that particular. You can say your bandwidth is 1 beat per second. तब क्या कहता हो कि 1 beat per second, तो एक ही बीट 1 सेकंड में ट्रैवल करेगा. तो और आपके पास बैंडविड्थ मल्टीप्लाई बाय डिले, सो योर डिले इज गोइंग टू बी 5 सेकंड. इट मींस यहां से यहां तक डेटा मिलने के लिए 5 सेकंड का डिले लगेगा. So when you will calculate both of this stuff, one beat per second multiplied by 5, you will get 5 beats. So you can say simultaneously, पहले first beat जाएगा, बाद में second, third, fourth and fifth, बाद में पूरा process फिर से चालू होगा. So you can say simultaneously you can include a 5 beat in pipeline, not more than that. Why? Because उसका capacity इतना है queuing time 5 beats का, और फर्स्ट बीट को रिसीवर तक पहुंचने के लिए 5 सेकंड का टाइम लगेगा, बिकॉज द डिले इज गोइंग टू बी 5 सेकंड. सिंपली if we can say cross section bandwidth is going to be bandwidth multiplied by delay, as we have discussed over there. Let's take 4 beat per second. आपका bandwidth 4 beats per second का है, okay, then the delay is going to be 5 seconds. So bandwidth and delay is going to be 5 multiplied by 4, it's 20 beats per second. So 20 beats per second, it means यहाँ पे आप simultaneously 20 beats आप associate कर सकते हो according to the in that particular 5 second of the time delay. यहाँ पे just for example, let's say there are 5 beats are there, 5 beats, then another 5 beats, then another 5 beats, another 5 beats. So we can say what is the overall bandwidth delay product over here. This is a different example. This is a different example. This is a different. Can you tell me what is a bandwidth delay product for this entire stuff, sender and receiver?
One second.
No, you can tell like that. There are a 5 beat transmitted simultaneously. It means इसका bandwidth है 5 beat का, और ये 5 बीट को रिसीवर तक पहुंचने के लिए कितना टाइम लग रहा है? 1 2 3 4 5 seconds. So you can say overall it's a 25 second bandwidth multiplied by delay, kind of the number you have. So we can say simultaneously 25 beat you can associate in kind of the particular channel, or in that band you can 25 beat is going to be traveled in the 25 second, or sorry, in a 5 second. 25 beats has been traveled. This is a bandwidth and delay multiplication we have. So next we are having a jitter, which is a kind of the different stuff. Like jitter is nothing but it's related to the delay. Like it is causes a problem in reception with the time sensitive information like audio or video or real time. आप ऐसा कह सकते हो कि कभी-कभी वो वीडियो फ्लक्चुएट होता है, ऑडियो कुछ आवाज नहीं सुनाई देता, which is due to the jitter, like timing mismatch between them. वहां से कुछ अलग टाइम पे भेजा था, यहाँ पे क्लॉक अलग होने की वजह से it will create a jitter, timing mismatch between them, and it is creating kind of the problem which is considered as a jitter in that packet arrival time. So jitter is nothing but one type of the delay. Okay. So this is up to the stuff we have over here in this first lecture. Now we have a 8 minutes of time. What we can do, if you have any doubt, any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, you just write a quick summary of 7 to 8 lines, and then after you can leave the session. If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask me right now. Otherwise, you just write the summary of the entire lecture, and then after you can leave. There are no group of the D2D student right now. You can create it. कोई एक बंदा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेके अपना ग्रुप क्रिएट कीजिए. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask me. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm going to add the people who is actually not in the canvas. So I'm just adding those person right now. So in this particular instant only, that everyone is getting enrolled. Okay. So let me just pick up your number one by one, and I will put it over here. Meanwhile, you just keep writing your summary. Okay, what we have discussed in entire lecture, what you have understood from this overall stuff, so I can get the idea, better idea that how much stuff that is conveyed by everyone. If you have not registered to Canvas account, please write down your Canvas ID. Please write down your Marwadi University ID. As you can see, such type of the Marwadi University ID which is allocated to everyone. You please write down your Marwadi University ID to get enrolled in the Canvas, because all the submission and all the stuff is going through the Canvas only. So please type your Marwadi Gmail ID over here so I can edit you into the Canvas right now. अगर आपने अब तक अपना मारवाड़ी का आईडी नहीं लिखा है तो प्लीज लिख दीजिए यहाँ पे. So I can just copy and paste and I can let add you. If you have doubt, any query, you can open your mic and tell me so I can resolve your doubt. If you have not DCN Canvas registered, please write your ID right now. Okay, so only this students has not registered. So let me just add all of them.
સર
Yes.
સર મારી પેલી આઈડી છે ને એ રોંગ છે. એ મારા પાસે મારા એક ફ્રેન્ડે મને કીધી હતી એટલે પછી એ રિમૂવ કરી નાખજો.
Which ID?
પેલા પેલી તમે જે લખી ને ત્યાં દિનેશ ટ્રિપલાની.
Okay, Dinesh Kriplan is a wrong ID.
હા એમાં પછી મેં થોડાક ટાઈમ પછી બીજી મોકલી છે.
હા, દિનેશ કૃપલાની સેકન્ડ ક્યારે હમણાં મોકલી કે? ઓકે ઓકે
તમે
yes
એડ
yes
કરી
got
છે.
it got it got it got it I have already added.
હા
So first I need not to consider. Okay,
યસ
okay, just wait. Yes, Uday Raj C Jadeja. Manan. Yes, yeah. You can change your name also. Okay, if any name changes are there, you can change by going to your profile. It's not an issue. Just I'm adding the name or to adding it to your. So everybody check their Canvas account, and in that Canvas account you are having one invitation is there. Just accept those invitation. So you better I can add you in that group and you can start doing the activity. If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask me. Just write down your enrollment number, and then after you can leave. Everybody, please write down your enrollment number. Complete enrollment number. If you are in IT, big data, CI, so computer, big data, then number. Computer, AI, then number. Normal computer, then number. Likewise, yes. Everybody, please check your Marwar University ID. There are link are there. You can go to that link and accept the invitation. Any doubt, any query, please ask me right now. Make sure you have created your Canvas account, okay, before. If all this submission, all this stuff, I can directly fetch it from Canvas. अगर आपका Canvas account नहीं है और उसमें से अगर कोई भी चीज आपने अभी तक रजिस्टर ही नहीं किया, you will get 0 mark. So please make sure you should register into the Canvas. अगर उसमें कुछ डिफिकल्टी है, नहीं आपका एनरोल हो रहा है, तो मुझे कॉल कीजिए. Okay, you can find out my number like 90 Let me just write it in a notepad so everybody can get the my number. It's a 9033316057. You can write it your query on my mail ID also. It's vishal.sorathia@marwadieducation.edu.in. Okay, so these are the two detail. You can note it down. You can create one account and you can create some WhatsApp ID also, and you add me so we can discuss all this stuff over there. Is that okay? After writing your mail ID, you can leave.
हेलो हेलो सर
हाँ बोलिए विवेक.
કેનવાસ નું ઇન્વિટેશન નથી આવ્યું મારા
મેલ આઈડી મોકલો. મેલ આઈડી મોકલ્યું તમને આ વોટ્સ ચેટ બોક્સમાં લખો મેલ આઈડી.
મોકલેલું હતું નીચે મોકલું છું પાછું
પાછું મોકલો. વિવેક કુમાર કડવાણી. ઓકે, એક જ મિનિટ. વિવેક આવે છે હમણાં.
ઓકે
ના ના એડ જ કરવાનું. Are you checking, Vivek? Are you checking your Marward University ID or personal ID?
મારવાડ યુનિવર્સિટી આઈડી
Okay. Now check it. In same mail ID, I have sent you the request. Okay, Nirali. Manav, what is your query actually? अपना मेल आईडी भेजो मानव, अगर कैनवास में नहीं ज्वाइन हो रहे तो.
Sir, I have also same problem. I don't have
मैंने
any request.
अब फिर से चेक कीजिए. अभी फिर से मैंने एक आईडी से आया होगा. ये जो आपने मेल आईडी भेजा ना, उसमें फिर से मैंने ऐड किया आपको. रिफ्रेश करिए, आप चेक कीजिए. Manav, just wait for a 1 minute. I'm adding you in a canvas.
Sir, I also don't have request.
आप अभी रिफ्रेश कीजिए. आपने पहले भेजा था जो भी मेल आईडी है उस आपने. हेलो. हाँ तो
Yes, sir.
साक्षी साक्षी अभी चेक कीजिए. मैंने ये आईडी पे भेज दिया है ऑलरेडी. 110952 मारवाड़ी यूनिवर्स. यस, मैंने अभी भेजा आपको 2 मिनट पहले. Okay, Sakshi. Wait for a 1 minute. Wait for 1 minute. यस, जितने लोगों को नहीं हुआ है प्लीज गो थ्रू दिस लिंक. मैंने एक लिंक भेजा है, उसके ऊपर क्लिक कीजिए सो यू कैन एनरोल डायरेक्टली. Yes, those who have not joined, those who have not request any mail ID is not received or any request is not received, just click on this link I have said in chat box. You can directly enroll through that. और बाद में मुझे फीडबैक दीजिए हो गया या नहीं. अंजलि बेन क्लिक कीजिए ये आईडी से, ये क्लिक लिंक पे.
હેલો,
यस बोलिए.
ન્યુ યુઝર સિલેક્ટ કરવાનું છે કે ઓલરેડી હેવ અ ફ્રી ફોર
न्यू
ટીચર
यूजर्स,
ટોપિક?
न्यू यूजर्स.
ઓકે.
यस,
ઓકે
इज
ડન
इट डन?
થઈ ગયું.
ओके, बाकी साक्षी, अंजलि बेन, मानव, निराली, कृपलानी. Okay, done.
Sir,
Okay, you
I'm
can
doing
leave the meeting. Yes, Sakshi.
I'm doing till it's
Okay, do it right now. So later on, it's not creating an issue. Okay, Kriplani, you can leave. Manav, Vivek. Okay, Manav,
થઈ
you can
ગયું.
also. Okay,
ઓકે
done,
થઈ
done,
ગયું. Done.
done. જે લોકોને થતું જાય એ લોકો લીવ થઈ શકે છે. યસ સાક્ષીબેન બોલો.
done.
ઓકે ડન ડન ડન. યસ નિરાલીબેન, અંજલિબેન ડન થઈ ગયું. હા બોલો.
રિક્વેસ્ટ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ને એવું આવે છે એમાં બધું સબમિટ કરવાનું
હા
છે.
હા કરવાનું, બધી ડિટેલ ફિલઅપ કરો તમારી જે હોય, ટાઈમ ઝોન સિલેક્ટ કરો બધું.
ઓકે.
હા, આઈડી પાસવર્ડ બધું સેટ કરો તમારું, પછી તમને એન્ટર થવા દેશે. Anjali Ben, what's your status? Is it complete? Okay, done, done. Okay, you can leave. Yes, Nirali Ben, thank you.
ના સર નથી થયું હજી.
Okay, કરો કરો ચાલો. કમ્પ્લીટ કરી દો પછી ફીડબેક આપો પછી ચાલો.
ઓકે. સર આમાં કન્ટ્રી ને એવું બધું આવે છે, એમાં તો ઓપ્શન નથી મોરબીનો.
મોરબી ના હોય ને બેન, ઇન્ડિયા હોય ને કન્ટ્રીમાં.
આ સોરી. અને જોબ જોબ
સ્ટુડન્ટ,
ટાઇટલમાં શું લખવાનું?
સ્ટુડન્ટ.
ઓકે.
થઈ ગયું નિરાલીબેન?
ના, એક સેકન્ડ સર.
ઓકે.
એને સ્કૂલ ને ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન છે એમાં?
મારવાડી યુનિવર્સિટી.
હા, ઓકે. સર આમાં બધા રાઈટ ઓપ્શન આવી ગયા પણ સબમિટ નથી થતું. સર
સ્ક્રીન શેર કરો તમારી, બતાવો તો સ્ક્રીન શેર કરો.
સર થઈ ગયું, જોવો તો.
જસ્ટ અ મિનિટ, ચેક કરી લો.
ઓકે.
નિરાલીબેન નથી મારામાં બતાવતું હો. નિરાલી દેત્રોજા પેન્ડિંગ આવે છે.
એવું કેમ? અહીંયા તો લાસ્ટમાં મારે આવી ગયું. થેન્ક યુ, વી અપ્રિશિએટ યોર.
હા, હવે કોર્સમાં જાવ જોઈએ. ગો ટુ કોર્સ. કોર્સમાં ડીસીએન બતાવે છે તમારે, જાવ જોઈએ.
એક સેકન્ડ.
તમારી સ્ક્રીન શેર થાય છે, કરો ને તો મને ખ્યાલ આવે.
હા, એ તો થાય છે.
હા, બતાવે છે. શું કહો છો?
ના, એવું કઈ બતાવતા નથી.
એટલે તમે મારવાડીના આઈડી થી જ લોગિન કર્યું કે પર્સનલ મેલ આઈડી યુઝ કર્યું?
ના, મારવાડી જ.
તમારું મેલ આઈડી ને પાસવર્ડ મોકલો ને મને, કેનવાસનો જે અત્યારે સેટ કર્યો હું ચેક કરી દઉં.
હા.
પછી હું તમને જણાવું. ઓકે, તમારા નંબર આપી વોટ્સઅપમાં મને હાઈ કે વોટ્સઅપમાં મોકલો ને તમારો મેલ આઈડી ને પાસવર્ડ, એટલે
હા
ચેક કરી.
હા હા.
નંબર છે મારો, અગરે લખી આપું.
હા તો
9033316057.
9033316057.
16057.
ઓકે.
એમાં આઈડી પાસવર્ડ મોકલો, ચેક કરી.
હા.